All right, here we go. I know I'm old, it's late, um, and I'm doing this in my easy chair. So you see my new glasses. I just the inner pair doesn't have nothing in the lenses. I mean, it took the lenses out, but I just increased the focal length. So a standard pair of reading glasses is close up, and this way I can see things magnified a couple feet away. So, um, this time around, we're going to finish up the charts, um, which are available to you anytime you want to see them 24/7. All you have to do is in your search box, type in FRED. It'll take you to the Federal Reserve in St. Louis, where you can use their search box and look up anything you want to, like on the CPI, total expenditure to the government, consumer price index, those types of things, velocity of money, which is what we're going to talk about today. So we'll get that out of the way, and then the next video we'll do cycle theory, and then we'll be done with economics, and we can get into the fun stuff. So, but it really is important. I mean, well, you'll see from the charts, and you'll be able to draw some conclusions from that. Now, the charts are a couple weeks old because I was going to do this video a couple of weeks ago, but I got busy, so I apologize for that, but that's water under the bridge. All right, so let me cut this video off and do the voiceover on the charts. Okay, first one up, Consumer Price Index. They keep changing what they record on all this so that it doesn't show a high inflation rate. I personally call it the socks index because that's all they count is underwear. As you can see in the chart, there has been continuous movement in the upward direction, which means that the price of commodities has gone up over time continuously and at a fairly rapid rate. If you were to count the inflation rate the way that they used to count the inflation rate just a few years ago, they're reporting 2% inflation or under, and it's really 9%. Now you can check that out at Shadow Stats, John Williams, and he's the guy who used to do the reporting for the Consumer Price Index. So as you can see, this even at a 2% inflation rate, consumer price index, even at a 2%, if you didn't get a 2% raise every year in your salary, you're losing money. And that's the way that the economy is going. And this chart is actually cooked. I mean, they cooked the books on it to show you a lesser rate of inflation of commodity prices going up. You know what I'm talking about, right? Milk, meat, beans, rice, potatoes, and all the other things that go in there, precious metals and money and all that kind of stuff. So, it's really a deflated chart. Next chart. I'm trying to look and see what this is. I think it's velocity of money. Now, all that means is that the amount of times a dollar changes hands, or dollars, or whatever, changes hands. In other words, I work for an employer and he pays me. That's a velocity of 1. I take that money and I go buy groceries. That's a velocity of 2. The grocer takes the money, buys new stock for the grocery store. That's a velocity of 3. And as you can see by this chart, the velocity is way down there at 1. One time. People aren't spending money. They're not, they're not refilling their shelves. The retailers aren't. This is not a good sign. A velocity of 1, you work for somebody, you get your money. Where does it go? Nowhere. Nobody's doing business. And that's a really bad sign for the economy. The velocity should be way up here, way up, 2, 3, 4 times, even 5 times. And that's the sign of a flourishing economy. What we're seeing here is a sign of a very lackluster economy. The next chart, I think it's going to change. It might not. I'm not very good at making these videos, with these charts. I can't tell when the thing is going to change. I mean, my video editor is hard to use. But anyway, the next chart is I have to wait for it. Okay, it's total government expenditures. I see what it is. And you can see where it spikes way up, and that's because of this coronavirus thing. Let me give you an example of how that worked. They're spending money that they can never pay back over something that's totally made up, and it's going to destroy the economy. In your own personal life, if you have a credit card and you max it out, so you get another credit card and you max it out, and you get another credit card to pay off the first credit card. Meanwhile, the second credit card, it kicks in at a higher rate, and so you have to go to a fourth. This is exactly what's happening in the government. They're spending way more money than they're taking in. And I think I thought I had a chart that showed the revenue coming in. Anyway, the revenue, I'm not going to put it up there. I'm not going to go back and change this. So if I were to put that chart in there, you would see that the amount of revenue that the government is getting in the form of taxes is going down sharply. The reason being, everything is shut down because of this made-up flu stuff. So there are some other things that you can do other than these charts. But this gives you kind of an insight here. And one of those things that you can do is you can watch the commodities market, and you can look at and you can see like the price of gold and silver. You see how they're in the green because they're going up. There's a reciprocal relationship between precious metals and the U.S. dollar. And typically, if the dollar goes down in value, then the value of precious metals goes up, and then it's reciprocal. If the value of the dollar goes up, then precious metals goes down. Now that's normally. These are not normal times. And I think I've got a chart in there somewhere that shows DXY. This might be it. DXY is the dollar against all other currencies. And if this is the one that I'm looking at, this one shows that would show that the dollar was down on this particular day, but it's hovering around 92, 93 cents. And so you have to watch those things, and if you see it shoot up, then that is highly inflationary, and you'll see the gold and silver price go down normally. Um, they're calling for them both to go up and go down at the same rate. And it has to do with money printing. They're printing more money than they could ever even think about paying back. So, I don't know what this next screenshot is. We're going to have to wait for it. Okay, this one is the one. This is DXY. This is the one that the dollar against all other currencies. And on this particular day, a couple of weeks ago, you can see it's up a little bit, 92 and some change. But there are other commodities that you can watch too on these same charts. And I forget where I get them, but you can look for them on the internet and get them for free and watch commodity prices. Now, there's a currency component, there's an agricultural component, there's a metals, industrial metals component, and so forth and so on. And then there's a compilation like the Baltic Dry Index, which is a compiled consumer price index, what's shipping, dry goods, grains, and then there's the London Metals Exchange, and that's the main exchange for precious metals and so forth and so on. You can watch Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff too. Bitcoin is counted as a currency, whereas gold and silver are commodities. And so we come to the last screen, the last one, and that is here it is. Government income, revenue from taxes. And because taxes are way down, their revenue from taxes are way down, whereas their spending, and you saw on the other chart, is way up. And as a result, they're borrowing way too much money. In other words, in your particular household, if you're spending more money than you're making, it doesn't take very long before you start losing furniture, having your house foreclosed, or go hungry, or having your car repossessed. But not with the federal government, because they've got all of us wonderful taxpayers who are going to pay the bill, and the form of increased taxes. And that's what they want to do. So, it comes to that point every time somebody's got to pay the bill, and the government isn't going to do it because they don't have any other resource than us, the taxpayers. All right. Okay, so, those are a few charts, and there are others that you might be interested in. And the next time we'll do cycle theory, and that's kind of fun. And we'll cover cycle theory from a United States standpoint, a world standpoint, and a biblical standpoint. And the amazing thing about that is they all agree on the times. They all agree on the timing of the cycles and what's going to happen. At the end of the next video, you will have a very good idea of what's going to happen between now and 2032, and the timing of that. So, you will be prepared, and then we can start doing some of the fun stuff on the homestead, and whatever else we can think of. All right. So that's all I got for this time. So until next time, and I'll try not to take so long to do these. Until next time, toodaloo.